Welcome to the electrifying world of MMA, where hubris can be a double-edged sword. In the unforgiving arena of mixed martial arts, there's no room for empty boasts or complacency. When fighters step into the ring or the cage, they lay bare their skills, vulnerabilities, and grit for all to see. Welcome to the MMA Mayhem. Subscribe and let's dive in. In this gripping countdown, we'll delve into the most cringeworthy and humiliating losses in MMA history. From ill-advised trash talk that backfired to stunning defeats at the hands of seemingly inferior opponents, these fighters learned harsh lessons on the grand stage. Prepare to witness the jaw-dropping moments when inflated egos met their humbling match in the ruthless world of MMA. Brace yourself for the most embarrassing losses that left fighters reeling and fans stunned. Shinya Aoki vs. David Gardner. In a jaw-dropping moment at Dream 7, announcer Baz Rutan's praise for David Gardner's defensive skills turned into a fateful jinx. As the American grew seemingly bored with Shinya Aoki's persistent rear naked choke attempts, he committed a critical error. Displaying a nonchalant attitude, Gardner sat up and interacted with the cheering crowd at the Saitama Super Arena. Little did he know that Aoki, the Japanese submission specialist, was lying in wait like a patient predator. With cunning precision, Aoki seized the opportunity when Gardner made his last attempt to engage with the spectators. Like a boa constrictor striking its prey, Aoki wrapped his arms around Gardner's throat, tightening the chokehold. Within seconds, Gardner found himself trapped, gasping for air and forced to submit at 5 minutes and 58 seconds into the fight. The demoralized American could only hang his head in disbelief as the crowd witnessed his unexpected downfall. In the relentless world of MMA, even the slightest lapse in focus can lead to devastating consequences. Gardner's momentary distraction served as a stark reminder that, in the cage, one must remain vigilant and respect the prowess of their opponent at all times. Tito Ortiz vs. Ken Shamrock 3. In a highly anticipated showdown, UFC President Dana White granted Ken Shamrock a final opportunity to settle his long-standing feud with nemesis Tito Ortiz at UFC Fight Night 6.5. The rivalry between these two legends had simmered for years, and this bout was set to be the definitive clash. After their coaching stints on Season 3 of The Ultimate Fighter, Shamrock, at the age of 42, stepped into the octagon for the third time against Ortiz, the formidable Huntington Beach bad boy. However, despite Shamrock's determination, Ortiz proved to be too much to handle. In a display of sheer dominance, the then 31-year-old Ortiz unleashed a torrent of vicious punches, leaving Shamrock with no chance to turn the tide. It was a masterful performance by Ortiz, who secured his third consecutive TKO victory over his arch-rival. Unfortunately for Shamrock, this bout marked the end of his UFC career. The defeat left him with a record of 2-3 in various regional promotions, signaling the conclusion of an illustrious but challenging journey in the world of MMA. Sometimes, rivalries in the world of combat sports can define a fighter's legacy. For Ken Shamrock, his battles with Tito Ortiz will forever be etched in the annals of MMA history, showcasing the intensity and drama that can unfold inside the octagon. Frank Shamrock vs. Nick Diaz. In a classic case of linguistic warfare, the young and brash Nick Diaz made it clear to seasoned veteran Frank Shamrock that he was unimpressed by his past accomplishments ahead of their epic clash at Strikeforce Shamrock vs. Diaz. Once inside the cage, Diaz stayed true to his aggressive fighting style, launching a relentless barrage of strikes on the then 36-year-old Shamrock. The 25-year-old Diaz showcased his trademark high-volume striking assault, pummeling the former UFC champion until he achieved a decisive TKO victory, with the fight ending at the 3:57 mark of the second round. Diaz's pre-fight antics, including defamatory remarks and a memorable middle finger salute at the weigh-in, had raised eyebrows and created tension leading up to the bout. But the talented fighter didn't just talk the talk, he backed up his words with a dominating performance in the cage. Throughout the fight, Diaz significantly outlanded Shamrock, landing an impressive 109 strikes compared to Shamrock's 36. It was a clear display of Diaz's prowess and determination to prove himself as a force to be reckoned with in the world of MMA. Following his crushing defeat to Diaz, Shamrock decided to hang up his gloves and announced his retirement from the sport roughly 14 months later. Diaz's victory marked a significant moment in his career, solidifying his position as a rising star in the sport and leaving a lasting impact on the MMA world. Tim Sylvia vs. Ray Mercer. Tim Sylvia's career took a significant hit after facing successive losses to heavyweight legends Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira and Fedor Emelianenko, which resulted in him losing his headliner status in major MMA events. However, it was a stunning KO defeat at the hands of a then 48-year-old boxing legend Ray Mercer in his pro MMA debut that proved to be the final blow, leading to Sylvia's permanent exile from the big stage. The fight at Adrenaline MMA 3 bragging rights was almost over as soon as it began, with Mercer delivering a thunderous right hand that landed perfectly on Sylvia's chin, leaving the former UFC champion momentarily unconscious. It took a mere 9 seconds for the legendary boxer to send shockwaves through the MMA world with his devastating knockout. While Mercer did not pursue further MMA bouts after his remarkable debut, Sylvia continued his fighting journey, stepping into the cage 11 more times since his encounter with Mercer. Yet, despite his efforts, he never returned to compete in the UFC. The brutal KO by an aging boxing legend ultimately dented Sylvia's reputation and halted his career trajectory in major MMA promotions. Though he continued to fight in other organizations, his days as a headliner on the grand stage were effectively over, leaving a lasting impact on his MMA journey. Chael Sonnen vs. Anderson Silva 2. In the months leading up to UFC 148, Chael Sonnen's trash-talking skills were in full display, hyping up what was arguably the most anticipated rematch in UFC history against middleweight king Anderson Silva. However, when the moment of truth arrived, the American gangster failed to live up to the hype. In the first round, Sonnen showcased moments of control, but his fortunes turned in the second round. He attempted 3 takedowns, but got promptly stuffed by Silva. Making matters worse, he telegraphed a spinning backfist, missing his target and leaving himself vulnerable. The consequence was swift and punishing, as Silva delivered a thumping knee to Sonnen's midsection, sending him to the canvas. From there, it was a one-sided affair, with Silva relentlessly attacking Sonnen with strikes until referee Yves Levine called an end to the bout just 1 minute and 55 seconds into the second round. Following the loss, a humbled Sonnen took the opportunity to pay respect to Silva during his post-fight interview with Joe Rogan. Acknowledging the Brazilian's status as a true champion, Sonnen expressed gratitude for the chance to compete and showed sportsmanship, acknowledging that nobody owed him anything. Despite all the hype and bravado leading up to the fight, the result left Sonnen modest and gracious in defeat. These 5 devastating losses in MMA serve as powerful reminders that even the fiercest fighters can face crushing defeats. From shocking knockouts to humbling submissions, these moments have left a lasting impact on the fighters and fans alike. However, in the world of MMA, resilience is key, and many fighters have bounced back stronger than ever. These losses are part of the sport's dynamic nature, adding to the excitement and unpredictability that makes MMA so thrilling to watch. Thank you for watching. Follow for more.